Welcome back to MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things Magic. It's Build a Deck Tuesday, and in today's video we are going to continue our Build a Deck series in Oathbreaker around Liliana of the Dark Realms and her signature spell of Bubbling Muck. What's up, MTG Burgeoning community? Here we are, getting one step closer to completing our third Oathbreaker deck on the channel. If you missed any of the previous videos in this current deck building series, you can click on the links in the description below and it'll bring you right up to speed. So far, this is what's been included in the 58, which is Cottage, Cabal Coffers, 2 dozen snow-covered swamps, a Wayfarer's Bauble, Burnished Heart, Solemn Simulacrum, Extraplanar Lens, Caged Sun, Astral Cornucopia, Cryptghast, Nirkana Revenant, Nightmare Lash, Lashwraith, Exsanguinate, and Torment of Hailfire. If you haven't picked up on it so far, we are going with the trend of big black mana. That's what Lily likes. So that's what Lily's going to get. And in today's video, we are going to install our removal spells. We've got 10 of them. What do you got here? 9 removal spells. Seems like there should be another one. Yeah, we'll go with 9 for now. Oh, nope, there's that 10th one. Always hiding in the back, just like with the cryogenic Sphinx from our Morphin Changeling video that we missed a few weeks back. All right, 10 removal spells. Here we go. Number 1, Defile. If we're going all swamps, big swamps, lots of swamps, we're going to tap a black mana at instant speed and give target creature -1/-1 till end of turn for each swamp we control. This will help to deal with Indestructible. Defile going in, baby. Next up, and one of the signature spell options that the community voted on, of course, Bubbling Muck won, but returning to the 58 will be Liliana's Triumph. 1 in a black, again at instant speed. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, and if we have Lily in play, and then each opponent will also discard a card. So for 1 in a black, that is great removal and disruption, particularly if the Dark Realms is also on the battlefield under our control. Next removal spell, if we're in black and it's Oathbreaker, we have to have the auto-include of the Elder Spell. Sorcery speed for 2 black, we can destroy any number of target planeswalkers, and then we choose a planeswalker we control to put 2 loyalty counters on it for each planeswalker destroyed this way. Now, a lot of the, I shouldn't say literature, a lot of the, comments and threads that talk about and deal with Oathbreaker, specifically if we're talking about a black planeswalker, always say, well, why don't you put the Elder Spell as the signature spell? And I like to shy away from that, because if you sit down to an Oathbreaker table and your signature spell is the Elder Spell, you become target number 1, target 1B, and target 1C. I'd rather not want to have to sit down and play a game of Archenemy against 3 Oathbreaker decks, but I never mind slipping the Elder Spell into the 58. That's removal spell number 3. Number 4, and again, if you remember, we got 2 dozen snow-covered swamps. So let's take advantage of that by including a copy of Dead of Winter. Sorcery speed 2 in a black. All non-snow creatures get -X/-X till end of turn, where X is the number of snow permanents we control. Dead of Winter is going to really help get rid of the board, and of course that will deal with Indestructible, that will deal with Hexproof, and that will also deal with Shroud. Very similar to what Dead of Winter does, for 1 more mana, we're going to also include Mutilate. Mutilate was also one of the signature spells that the community voted on, that of course Bubbling Muck won. Mutilate is 2 and 2 black, and all creatures get -1/-1 for each swamp we turn. I'm sorry, for each swamp we control. So a little bit of redundancy. Dead of Winter is 1 mana less, which is going to be helpful to get it out quicker if needed, particularly because we might be going against some faster Oathbreaker decks. Next up, and yet another of the signature spells that was up for voting, we're also going to include Deadly Rollick, 3 and a black at instant speed. However, if we control our Oathbreaker, which is Lily up there on our left, then we don't have to pay anything to cast Deadly Rollick, and what we can do is exile target creature. Very simple, 3 and a black, or for free if we have Lily on the battlefield. Another instance that we're going to include that helps to take advantage of the number of swamps we plan to have in the game is Tendrils of Corruption, 3 and a black at instant speed. It deals X damage to target creature and we gain X life, where X is the number of swamps we control. So again, this doesn't really do much against Indestructible, won't help us with Hexproof, won't help us with Shroud. However, some incidental life gain by being able to, deal some damage to a creature helps us in a format that, let's be honest, we're not dealing with 40 life like Commander. So Tendrils of Corruption is going to act as life gain and direct damage to a creature we can target. And that was removal number 7. We have 3 removal spells left, and the next one is going to be something similar to Tendrils of Corruption, but a little more versatile. It is slower as it's a sorcery and a little more costly, but we can do a lot more damage with a copy of Corrupt. 5 and a black, Corrupt deals damage equal to the number of swamps we control to any target. We gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. This could be a player, this could be an Oathbreaker, this could be a creature, and of course we're going to have so many swamps in play that having Corrupt not in the deck seems like it would not be in our best interest. So disruption removal spell number 8 is Corrupt. Number 9 is going to be a copy of Nightmare Incursion. 5 and a black at sorcery speed. We can search target player's library for up to X cards, where X is the number of swamps we control, and then we exile those cards from the game. This isn't removal per se. This is probably leaning a lot heavier on the disruption side of things, but I suppose if we think about it in a different way, we are removing some cards from our opponent's deck that could otherwise, be utilized against us to win the game. So Nightmare Incursion with enough swamps on the battlefield, and that should not be a problem, this could really come in handy in dismantling one of our opponents. And our 10th and last disruption or removal spell for our 3rd Oathbreaker deck is going to be a copy of Blood on the Snow. 4 and 2 black, we can choose one, and we can destroy all creatures, or we can destroy all planeswalkers. Then we can return a creature or planeswalker card with converted mana cost X or less from our graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of snow mana spent to cast this spell. Again, with the inclusion of 24 snow-covered swamps, which is the great bulk and majority of our land base, including Blood on the Snow is going to be very, very beneficial for us because we can wipe the board of all creatures, and then we can bring one of our creatures back as long as we spent enough mana on it to make sure that the converted mana cost matches up, because it's X or less, where X is the amount of snow mana spent. So a creature 6 CMC or less, we've got a bunch of those, and Blood on the Snow is going to be a very good and sneaky mass removal spell included in this Liliana Oathbreaker deck. And that's it, folks. We are one step closer to completing our build. In fact, the next video that we do will complete the 58 as we include our creatures. Any ideas, any suggestions? Let me know in the comment section below. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic.